Hi, my name is Tim Lynch and I'm a reference librarian at USM Libraries. Today we'll be talking about the APA citation style. There are many ways you can check the accuracy of an APA reference. You can check the publication of the American Psychological Association. You can also check the OWL Writing Lab website from Purdue University. And finally, a textbook you may already have, a writer's reference. This video is just a quick guide to help you learn the basics of APA style. We at the library wanted you to know that not only do we have copies of the works described, but we're also ready to help. Both writing tutors and reference staff are available anytime. If you would like to reach out to me, my email address is tlynch@maine.edu. It's not easy to start learning a citation style, but the more you learn, the easier it will be. Have fun learning APA.
What are the basic aspects of APA citation style? Aspect 1. Authors. References in APA are often broken up into two parts: how to represent the author or authors, and then the rest of the citation. As I go through this tutorial, I will separate the sections of an APA reference with an orange line following the section. Understanding how to represent the authors of a work is your first big hurdle in finishing a citation. The way to treat authors in your full reference doesn't change with the type of item you are citing. Learning this approach will work for all APA authors in full references at the end of your paper. Note this formula is different from in-text citations in APA, which we will cover later in this video. If the work has a single author, as in example 1, begin with the last name of the author, followed by a comma, and then use only the initials of the author's first and middle name depending on whether there is one or two initials, each followed by a period. Examples 1 and 2 on the slide. In example 3, there are two authors. Again, you begin with the last name first, a comma, and then the first initials. After the initials, you insert a comma, a space, and then an ampersand. The ampersand indicates this will be the final author. Follow the ampersand with a space and the final author written last name first, comma, then the first and middle initials. If the work has three authors, as in example 4, you simply move the ampersand to just before the final author. Notice that you're required to list up to 20 authors, if present. If you have more than 20 authors, consult the APA manual for this specific formula. All authors maintain the last name first, comma, first initials format. Organizations and agencies can be considered the author if no stated author is present. Follow the written entry with a period, according to page 288 of the APA manual. Also according to that page in the APA manual, if you are unsure of the levels of organization, use the lowest level that appears on the work as the author, not the parent organization. Some examples or agencies that might be authors are displayed as shown in examples 1 and 2. The American Cancer Society, National Genealogical Society, the Environmental Protection Agency. If both parent organizations and smaller division are present on the work, again, use the smaller division as the author, as shown in example 3. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, not U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. As with other citation tools, titles may also replace authors if no authors are present. The next part of an APA citation is the date. Note that the orange line is moved, indicating the end of this new section. According to page 289 of the APA manual, the date will be represented in parentheses and followed by a period or full stop. Although usually just a publication year, as in example 1, 2007, The year may also be followed by a comma to include a specific month, as in example 2, 2020, July, or a specific date, 2020, July 2nd, or as a season in example 3, 2016, comma, fall/winter. If no date is found on the work, express that as in example 4, N period, D period. After the date in a reference comes the title. Note how the orange line is moved to the end of the title section in the examples. According to page 291 of the APA manual, titles fall into two areas: those that are whole unto themselves, like books or videos or reports, and those we will talk about on the next slide. The titles that are whole unto themselves are represented in italics and in sentence case, meaning only the first word of the title and the first word of the subtitle are capitalized, along with proper nouns, which are always capitalized. Note examples 1 and 2 below. Note how proper nouns such as Maine and Canada are capitalized along with the first word of the title and subtitle. Edition information, if present, for example, revised edition, third edition, can be entered after the title but before the period following the title, and in parentheses. Note example 3 on the slide. Other types of information can also appear in the same parentheses. Better known abbreviations or translators. See example 4 below. When dealing with an article from a journal, titles will take on a different look according to page 291 of the APA manual. Namely, that the title of the journal article will not be in italics. Note examples 1 and 2 on the slide. When citing an item that is part of a larger whole, the larger whole in this case being the journal that houses the journal article, the title is written without italics and with all the same rules applying about sentence case. Only the first word of the title and the subtitle are capitalized, along with any proper nouns. As in other examples, the title section is also followed by a period or full stop. On this slide, the italics are transferred to the larger entity, the journal. The journal title will appear in the next part of the citation, called the source. Since journal articles are often the majority of references in college, we will continue with the journal article as the first example in the source section. When you are dealing with a journal article, the source aspect of the citation will have the full journal name capitalized in title case. That means every word's first letter except for articles. It is in italics, followed by a comma, a space, and then the volume number, also in italics. The issue number, if present, is in parentheses and is not in italics, even though it is immediately next to the volume number. It is followed by a comma, a space, and then the page range of the article, followed by a period. In example 1, Insect Life is the journal name, 26 is the volume number, 3 is the issue number, and 35 to 37 are the pages. If a URL or DOI exists, they are very common with journal articles. It will follow the period or full stop after the page numbers. This can be seen in example 2. PLOS 1 is the journal title, 16 is the volume number, 4 is the issue number, and 1 to 18 are the page numbers. The link after the numbers is the DOI, a very important tool for the reader, as it is a digital connection to the article information. Note the strange capitalization of the journal PLOS 1. It is present only because That is how the journal itself is represented, according to the APA Manual, page 294. Also, do not include databases, for example, JSTOR, where journal articles are found. The DOI is sufficient. The second example we might deal with in the last part of the citation, called the source, is a book. Notice that the orange line is now at the end of the citation. If you are dealing with a book, the source will either include a publisher by itself, a publisher with a DOI, or, if it is a book chapter with a different author, the word in, and then an additional citation part for the rest of the book. So after the title section ends with a period or full stop, the source section of the citation is created as follows. If it is a printed book, just the publisher, as in example 1, Paleo Press, or the publisher and a DOI, as in example 2, Edinburgh Scholarship Online, followed by the DOI link.
On this slide, think of these examples as similar works. Example 1 is in print, and example 2 is the 4th edition and is online. A book chapter with a different author than the whole work will most likely be an edited work. It will look similar to a regular book citation, except that after the period following the chapter title, it will include the word in and an extra citation part for the rest of the book. So, in example 1, after the chapter title Citatia, you place a period or full stop. Then the word in, followed by the editors of the work. Editors in the source section are with first and middle initials first, which is the opposite of how they are shown in the author section. They are followed with eds period in parentheses. Follow the editor's portion with a comma, and then the larger whole work called Ocean Fauna in the Polar Regions in italics. This is followed by the specific page range in parentheses, followed by a period. And then finally the publisher, in this case Greenwall Press, end with a period or full stop. In example 2, you have the same title, but now it is shown as how to insert an edition number. Put the edition information before the page numbers of the chapter and within the same parentheses. Separate them with a comma. This is followed again by the publisher and a period or full stop. If a DOI is present, it is attached to the end of the citation like other examples in books and articles. Note that even though this item is a book, in both examples the italics have been transferred to the larger entity and is not present in the original chapter title. With all the importance that is being shown about the DOI, how do you correctly formulate it in a citation? A few rules according to page 298 of the APA Manual. 1. In APA 7th edition, all DOI are required to be in link format. So if you find that your item has a DOI, but is not in link format, you must convert the simple DOI number into a link. 2. You must search to make sure the DOI is not present. APA suggests using search.crossref.org to discover the DOI if there is one. Enter the title in search.crossref.org to find the DOI and add it to the end of the citation without punctuation at the end. So how do you convert a regular DOI into a link? This is not difficult. Simply follow the directions as shown on this slide. Start with a basic URL, https://doi.org. Place a slash after the URL base. All DOIs begin with the number 10. But often they are shown in print or in databases with an extra notification that this is a DOI in front. Sometimes it is DOI colon in lowercase or DOI in uppercase. Both are not needed. All you need after the base URL and slash is the whole number beginning with 10. There's no difference between a printed book or an ebook, except that an ebook is more likely to have a URL or DOI. Note, however, that DOI, digital object identifiers, are becoming more popular even in printed works. They are also favored over URLs if both are present. Websites. If you are dealing with a website, first make sure it is not possible to call it something else. As explained on page 350 and 351 of the APA manual, a website with a book should be treated like a book. A website with a report should be treated like a report. Only treat a citation like a website if you cannot treat it like something else. As shown on page 351 and in example 1, stylistically, websites are treated much like books. The author section is the same. The date section is the same, though you want a more up-to-date date. Websites are considered whole unto themselves, so the title section is in italics. In the source section, the publisher section is replaced by the overall website name, unless the author and publisher are the same. In a website, it is permissible to use the parent organization as the publisher with the lesser organization as the author. Note this in example 2. Websites are the only entity where a URL will be used instead of a DOI, since DOIs do not exist for websites. In the last portion of this video, you can see a quick demonstration of how to find APA citations provided by two databases and a catalog. Citations from these sources, while still useful, must be checked for accuracy, since database citations are created by computer, not by APA experts. You might have to correct capitalization, sentence case, APA addition, and more. Thanks so much for listening. Good luck with your APA 7th journey.